Hey Geeks, I'm here with Kyle Higgins. I just want to talk to you today about Batman Beyond. I know everybody's got a million questions. I'm obsessed with Batman Beyond.
You and me both, my friend.
And you know, it was actually your interview on Fat Man on Batman. I've tweeted you a few times about that.
Yeah.
That inspired me. I didn't know that it was going to happen. And then I went to your signing for book one, and I've just been obsessed with the story since then. Why don't you give me a little bit of your history with that character and how you got the opportunity to really bring him back into the universe?
Well, I grew up watching the show, the cartoon. I remember seeing the pilot. It was on a Sunday night or a Saturday night. I watched it with my dad. I remember at the time, like there was something crazy went on that day. Like, I don't know if like we all, like my family got in a big fight or something, but I remember it was like, oh, and Batman, this new thing is on, and so my dad and I sat down to watch it, and it was awesome. And then we talked about it afterwards, and I was a big fan of the Batman animated series and Superman animated series, so I just remember being very cathartic watching it that night, and then I kept up with it, and all the questions and the mysteries that pilot introduces were so big for me. You know, what happened to Dick and Barbara and Tim, and what about the Joker? What about Alfred? Even so far as like what happened to Bruce? He walks with a cane now. Did something specific happen? Is it just old age? You know, what is it? So that's really kind of how I found the show, and then every time they would give you a little answer along the way. I remember there was one episode I think called, is it Lost Soul? It might be, no, which one was it? Now I'm blanking, but Terry has to borrow a tuxedo from Bruce, and he's like, yeah, I found this jacket up in the closet. And he looks inside, and he goes, who's DG? And you're like, oh. And Bruce doesn't say anything, and you're like, is he alive? Is Grayson around? Like, is he dead?
Yeah.
So that stuff hooks you that much more going forward. But at the same time, the show is never about the answers to those mysteries, which is really remarkable, you know, especially now that I write the character and I write that continuity. It's super easy to go to the well of like, well, I'm going to Beyondize this character, or I'm going to like Beyondize this villain and give answers from the past, and I'm doing some of that now coming up, but I've held off on it for a long time because it's all about kind of building the villains and building the stories so that they exist right now without needing the old kind of, I'm going to kill these guys, Francis Manipul and Brian Buccellato, the new co-writing team of Detective Comics / art team as well. You guys are just doing it all, right? Co-creators? What are you credited as? What are we crediting you as?
Owls.
Storytellers. Is that what it is now? Storytellers are heckling me.
Can you guys come in? You
camera.
wanna, can we get you on video? No, come on.
Sorry. You have some donuts to eat.
Nice.
All
Is
right.
that new? Is that new, that arm?
A year ago.
That looks awesome. Yeah. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Okay. What are we talking about?
Batman Beyond. No, I see what you say about it. I really like the way you've had the characters and the villains stand on their own versus trying to bring in, you know, familiarity from the older stuff. Now, what continuity is, because one of the stories you told on Fat Man and Batman that really got me was the Justice League Unlimited, where you find out that he's basically a clone of Bruce Wayne. Where does your continuity...
Well, see, that's the thing. He's not a clone of Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
And even just from a science level, his father, big spoiler here, okay, are we ready? His father had his genetic material rewritten with Bruce's DNA. But his mother wasn't, you know, Bruce's DNA. Okay. So he's Bruce's son, technically. Sorry, I just want to clarify that.
That's fine. No, thank you. So with that, where does your continuity fall in with that timeline?
Well, I mean, I guess technically every story that you write that takes place before that is building to that. But it's so far in the future that there are big ebbs and flows along the way, you know? So like my run opens with it's a year after Adam Beecham's run, and so Terry's now in college, and he and Dana are no longer together, and he and Bruce broke up, and Dick Grayson is now his mentor. And so something big happens to cause all of these changes, well, with the exception
And I'm
of
waiting
college.
for the answer on that.
So the answer is coming in actually, well, our next arc. After the Justice Lords crossover right now, the arc after that gives all the answers. And so they're going to solicit it in the next couple weeks to a month, somewhere in there. And I think that cover, when people see it, I think it's gonna cause quite a jaw-dropping reaction. That's my hope, anyway.
All right, I appreciate you sitting with me today.
Yeah, my
I don't know
pleasure.
if you've also noticed, just one last thing, I've been tweeting, we're doing a giveaway of one of your comics, Deathstroke #1, signed by
Nice.
you. We've been talking about it on our podcast, Geeks with Wives and Capes, and also on our Facebook and everything. So through this month, we're going to be deciding at the end of the month who wins a comic by you. What do you think about that? It's my obsession with Batman Beyond, but it's the Deathstroke. But with your work, I think it's fantastic.
I think it's great. If anyone wants it, if I have fans out there, that's always a good
We've
thing.
had some people that want it, so they're sending us some cool pictures and everything.
Okay, well that's good, because I was going to be really concerned if you said, we're doing this giveaway,
And no one's
nobody's
responded.
So, okay, well that makes me feel better.
We're getting some great response.
Okay, good. Well then
All right.
I'm all for it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you so